From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, this is Mornings LATE. Big news across the board as Qualcomm misses and new jobless claim numbers are in. Meantime, Yum Brands reports. And Kohl's gives guidance. Elsewhere, on the Hill, Amy Klobuchar gives a message. And could it be bad news for technology? And the push is underway to finalize your third stimulus package. There's so much happening across the board on a big financial news day. Thank you for joining me on LL8, a 24-hour news broadcasting financial channel, delivering you financial news from 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. the next day. The most comprehensive and the most in-depth and interactive financial channel there is. And with that, let's get right to the news. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. And thank you for the countless people who became members yesterday. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. On Wall Street, the Dow is trading up substantially, nicely this morning. About 245 for the Dow, about 1% up currently. And the NASDAQ, up about 41 points, about half a percentage point. This is news as the jobless claims came in. Every Thursday morning, if you've been with me since April 25th when this channel launched, you have heard about the new jobless claims as often as you've heard about my bombshells or pair dancing antics. The new jobless claims came in this morning, minutes ago, and they totaled 779. Those represent last week's numbers, of course. But that's the lowest number since November 2020. Good news there. Wall Street was estimating that the new jobless claims numbers would be at 830. So this beat Wall Street's estimates. It was also a dip of 33,000 new jobless claims from the week before. So this is a very good number. What does this number represent? Every Thursday morning, we see the new jobless claims numbers. Now, these are people who just have started for the very first time unemployment. These are not people for continuing on unemployment or who have gone off of and back onto. So these are the new jobless claims. But this is incredible progress. The number comes out from the Labor Department. And this decline was seen nationally, except in one place. Why? Well, the number was propelled downward, improving numbers, by improvements in Illinois. The largest decline in new jobless claims came out of the state of Illinois, down 55,000 new jobless claims, so that's a great improvement for the state of Illinois. But that improvement was offset by a substantial gain of 46,000 new jobless claims. No bueno. And where were those? In the state of California. State of California. Now, this report came out last week, just a few days ago. California has reopened outside dining. And so there has been a jump starting in certain businesses in California as the numbers of the infection rate and ICU numbers have improved. So this jobless number could improve again next week as well. Good news across the board there. Next, Yum Brands came in and it was delicious, delicious news. It beat earnings. The earnings prediction from Wall Street was about 1.01 a share and it came in at 1.15. And it was also a revenue beat, just slightly, 1.74 billion versus 1.72 as predicted. Over at Kohl's reports that its fourth quarter will be down about 10%, but it sees progress. It's indicating a revenue decline of about 8.9. You could assume that returns, which typically are higher in January, played a role in driving traffic towards the end of the quarter, said the CEO in a news statement this morning. Finally, let's cut back to the Hill. Amy Klobuchar, Democrat on the Hill, who is now the chair of the Senate committee, which deals with subcommittee antitrust issues, says that she today will be introducing a widespread reform bill on antitrust. You can't take on trillion-dollar companies with Band-Aids and duct tape, said Klobuchar. Some of the technology companies are a little concerned about what that could mean. Your third stimulus is getting to finality because why? A reconciliation bill was passed earlier this week. That reconciliation bill now anchors your third stimulus package bill to the finish line. The use of the reconciliation bill was nothing you saw in 2020. And in fact, a lot of broadcasters have had confusion understanding what it involves and what it means. What it means is you don't need a single Republican vote to get the bill finalized. All you need is a vote. And the only question remaining is what day, LLA? What day? It's not a question of will or could or would. It's just a question of when, what day. The reconciliation vote earlier this week was basically a two-prong approach. As I use the metaphor, a tow truck with a tow hitch. The tow truck pulls the tow hitch, and on the tow hitch behind it is your $1.9 trillion stimulus package bill from Joe Biden, stimulus package number 3. The tow truck went over the finish line, was passed this week, and that tow truck says to pass the thing that's on the tow hitch, you only need all the Democrats to vote in favor. Don't need a single Republican. This is nothing new. It was done twice in the first year of the Trump administration. It's been done in almost every presidential administration during its first term. You just haven't heard it for a few years. And it signals that the Biden camp may do it again, may continue to do it as often as so needed. That's also the good news. The good news is that the Biden camp overnight from Bernstein, his economic advisor, again repeated what his press secretary and what Joe said this week, which was, I don't think this number of 1.9 is very robust. It's right on the edge of small, just cutting it. And we may need to come back. Hey, Cora, everyone welcome Cora to the family. How are you? Thank you, Cora, for becoming a Purple Hawk. Everyone welcome Cora. To become a Purple Hawk like Cora, you click the link in the top of this chat or in the description to this video. Purple Hawk Power, Hawk, or Calcino VIP. So this is really good news. This is your third stimulus package, but not your final stimulus package. $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 for married couple, $1,400 for children, $3,200 for adult dependents. If you're on any type of benefits like Social Security, you're getting a stimulus check like everyone else. You're either getting $3,200 or $1,400. It's really great news. FPUC will be slightly retro, just not as retro as we had hoped. FPUC will be retro to January from when second stimulus 2, that's sort of redundant, second stimulus started all the way to the end of September. $400 a week, which amounts to about 40 weeks. So 40 weeks at $400 a week, yes, that's a lot of money. That could amount to no less than about $16,000 before you account for the UI or PUA it goes on top of, which if that's $300, $400, that's about $25,000 to $35,000 if you are so unemployed for the next 40 weeks, which no one hopes you are. More about the details what are in the third stimulus package coming up in a few minutes after the 15-minute mark, but let's continue with the news. Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary to Joe Biden, appeared before regulators at a press conference this morning to ensure that the markets are working safely. Last night, Jim Cramer spoke about the issue of the volatility and speculation from last week with that message board. There's only one reason to own stocks, and that, of course, is to make money. We're at a critical point in this market, a point where the cheapest stocks are often the best and the most expensive are often the worst. I want to address some of the retail revolution, put it in context, because some of these revolutions fall apart. Sometimes you get to a 2-day junka and then things go back to normal. Other times they may be radio station before the tanks roll in. Well, the market's been up for 3 days now in a row, despite the calamities of that message board brouhaha last week. So that's good. But stimulus front and center this morning as American Airlines says the lack of stimulus and the lack of doses has caused them to announce new furloughs. The big major airline said late last night that it sent furlough notices to 13,000 employees because it has not seen that stimulus come yet, and also because of the lack of doses and new travel restrictions. Hey, Kim, everyone welcome Kim to the family. Welcome, Kim, for becoming a Purple Hawk. The vaccine is not being distributed as quickly as us believe, and new restrictions on international travel that require customers to have a negative COVID-19 test have dampened demand for travel, said the American Airlines CEO Doug Parker in a letter to staffers announcing those furloughs last night. We're fully behind our union leaders' efforts to fight for the extension, and we will lead our times and support in every way we can. Well, there you go. Yesterday, Qualcomm missed on earnings, but up on the Hill, they didn't miss on stimulus. They got the stimulus passed as a finality. And yet yesterday, I think it was on Evenings LA, I informed viewers to be prepared for the optics you're going to hear in the next few days and the potential confused or misreporting you'll hear in the next few days. You're going to see some people, because I've actually seen them myself. I'm just not going to give them a shout out. I've seen people say, well, the Republican plan is, who cares what the Republican plan is? The Republican plan will never see light of day because they're not going to call for a Republican vote. That's why they did a reconciliation. They don't need a single Republican vote. And so some people were confused by the impact of the reconciliation, thinking you still need Republican votes, thinking we still need to cover what Mitt Romney says, or the prom creators, or this person or that person, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins. You don't have to cover them anymore because they're no longer part of the finality. The bill has been finalized. All they need to call is a vote. The Republicans are not part of the discussion. So if you hear someone saying something, well, the Republican proposal is change the channel, cut it off. You shouldn't be watching anyone other than me, of course. But I don't want you to get confused by it because that is no longer an issue. I know how we sat through all of 2020 and we heard these different forces. This one saying this and this saying that. That's no longer the case when you do a reconciliation. When you do a reconciliation, the tow truck moves over the finish line and the tow hitch is coming behind it. We don't care if there's a deer on the side of the road, or there's an aardvark on the side of the road, or there's an alpaca on the side of the road shouting smaller stimulus checks or larger stimulus checks. We don't care because the truck is already passing over the finish line and it's towing the tow hitch. With 13 minutes of market, let me give you a big update where we are, and then we will get to the items in the third stimulus package and the surprises across the board. I'm so excited you're here. Not 1,000 people in the room with 300 likes. Let's get those likes up. Come on, it's free. I know you got that coffee in your hand. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, but put that coffee down and hit those like buttons. 1,000 people in the room and only 300 likes. It sounds like someone needs an extra cup of coffee, but you can get it in a second, or you can use a straw. You can just, let me press the like while I'm drinking my coffee through a straw. Okay, now I'm hitting the like button, Ally. Don't worry, I'm drinking the coffee through a straw. Or drink. I don't want you to drink fast. Don't drink the coffee too fast. Okay, just. It's and if it is caffeine rich, then don't drink it too fast. I don't want you to get a caffeine burst too early in the morning. Hey, it's 1,100 people in the room, but 400 likes. Get those likes up. Maybe we can get to 1,500 in the room and 1,000 likes. Thank you, Manuel Valdez, for the dancing bear. Oh, wow, we got a dancing bear. It's the morning. We can dance. If you're at home, put down that coffee after you like the like button and do a little dance with me. Good morning. It's a new morning. We're dancing bear. I got to say, I still got people sending me private messages and tweets and social media messages. They're saying, I love the dancing bear. It's a pear, not a bear. I don't know how long we'll have to endure this. People still think it's a bear. It's a pear. Pear, not Bear. I'm getting emojis and gifs with bears. I'm like, why are people sending me pictures of a bear? And I thought, oh, they still think it's a bear. It's not a bear. It's a pear. Or otherwise they're saying I gotta go on a diet or something. Well, it's not like you've been giving me bacon, so I don't know why you would say that. A little shady there. I have not been having $12 ice cream either, so there you go. Normally, Well, at the 14-minute mark, I forgot to give you the update. At the 14-minute mark, live from Los Angeles, this is Mornings LATE. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, the most comprehensive financial news across the board, the most interactive and 24 hours a day, only on this channel. Young Brands beats on numbers in reporting earnings this morning. Hey, Margie. Oh, meow. How are you? That's delicious, like Yum Brands, beating on earnings estimates. Thank you, Margie. The Dow and the Nasdaq are up slightly this morning. Qualcomm missed badly on earnings yesterday. And Janet Yellen met with regulators this morning to ensure that the markets are stable. They are. They've been trading up for 3 days in a row. But what's also stable is your third stimulus package. More about those details in just a second. But first, like this video, become a subscriber. 1,100 people in the room. See if we can get those subscriber counts up. You've been doing a great job lately. The last 2 days have been the highest days in a long time. Hey, Susan Raddick. Thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk. I really appreciate it. And consider becoming a member, like Susan Raddick. Susan became a member by clicking the description in the video or at the top of the chat. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. You get access to PDFs before anyone else that details what's in the stimulus package, that details what's in any of these financial items or instruments that I go over in this channel, like the old EIDL, to ensure you get the money before someone else. The third PDF, well, the third link from 2 days ago, which is Nancy's reconciliation statement. It actually says link, parenthesis link. That is because it's not a PDF. It's a link. And I still have people saying, I can't download it because it's a link. Hey, Donna, thank you for the dancing pear with the thumb up. I appreciate it. That's actually a really good dancing pear. I never saw that one. So he's basically saying give a thumb up. 587 likes and 1,300 in the room. Let's do 1,500 in the room and 1,000 likes. Let's get those likes up as the dancing pear said this. All right, so the big news across the board is that Wall Street is looking to Congress, Pennsylvania Avenue, to see what date that street will begin your stimulus to finality. Hey, Sean, for the R2D2. I love that one. He's like that. He's like, hey, what's going on? Thank you, Sean Adams, for the R2D2. I love that. Game controller alert. Oh, it's a game controller. I didn't realize that. The items on the third stimulus package, let's go over them, shall we? Let's do it. Stimulus checks, $1,400 an individual, $2,800 married couple, $1,400 for children, $3,200 for adult dependents. If you're on benefits, you're going to get a stimulus check like everyone else. You are no different, you are no better, you are no worse. You get a stimulus check like everyone else. And how it's delivered and how the mechanism, we'll see more about that from Janet Yellen in the days to come. FPUC, UI, and PUA extended from now to September. And they'll be retroactive to January for purposes of FPUC. So we'll go on top of your second stimulus when that came into effect in January. And it's been paying you $300, so this will pay you $400. So you get an extra $100 retro for all those weeks. Going forward, 40-something weeks, and that's a lot of moolah. 40 weeks at $400 a week. Wow, if you have getting like $300 a week of a UI or PUA, that's about $700 a week for 40 weeks. That's a lot of money. It's about $20,000 to $30,000 in those 40 weeks. I don't hope you're unemployed for that time, but that's a lot of money. Next, hazard pay will be in there. We have not seen the provision of hazard pay yet. That is one of the real surprises we don't know. But there were surprises in the last few days. Those surprises started across the board. First, there's a series, there will be not less than 1, but 4 rent assistance. And the last one is the surprise. It's mortgage money. Mortgage to pay your money. Whether your mortgage is federally backed or not federally backed, it's mortgage money. So you'll be seeing rent aid for low income, rent aid for middle class, and rent aid for homeless people to get into homes. And then finally, mortgage money. That's the big surprise. Next, we have big money for grants. Grants. And there are new grants that we had never heard of before. The return of the EIDL grant is on, baby. Yes. Not just the second stimulus grant. We're talking about the third stimulus grant. No restriction on eligibility like low income community. It's for everyone. This is really great news. I got help with my LG&E today from LHEAP, $250. Congratulations, Margaret. She got help with her utility bill. Remember, if you need help with renting utilities now, reach out to the volunteers. They're in the community page, news.la.com/community. Hey, Lisa, thank you for the dancing. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So that mortgage assistance is just a complete surprise, but the grants are also a big surprise. The grants are a big, big surprise. They are giving you no less than four types of grants. Four types of grants. The first type of grants is a grant for EIDL, a grant for restaurants, which is totally brand new. Hey, Ira, thank you for the dancing pear. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. He said, Olivia Newton-John pear. I really appreciate it. LA, maybe they're calling you the dancing bear. They are calling me. Some people are not. Some people just keep on thinking I'm saying bear. It's pear. There's even an emoji for it. There's an emoji for the pear. Someone thought it was funny last night to say avocado. I don't find that funny. So those new grants are grants for EIDL, a grant for restaurants, which is totally brand new, a grant for technology, which is also brand new, an extension of grants for Save Our Stage, and one or two other grants. Meantime, at the end of Nancy's statement, there was a new grant for low-income communities as well. This is all exciting news. Remember, if you look at the links as members, if you look at the post, the PDF post as members of the channel, if you're going down there, the third or fourth one says Nancy's announcement. It's a link. It sends you to a web page. It doesn't send you to a PDF. It sends you to a web page. That is the one. That is the link. It sends you to an actual website. You can read the document. It's pretty long. It's about 8, 9, 10 paragraphs. This is incredible, great news. Then what else is in there? Well, there's $1,400 for paid sick leave per week, $1,700 for student aid supplement. So if you're a student in college, you will get financial aid of $1,700. The eligibility, we don't know. The paid sick leave, we do know. So if you're working and you have to stay home because of 4 events, you can get up to $1,400 a week. That is based on the following. $73,000 annual salary is the benchmark. So if you made less, then you get a little bit less. If you made more, you still get only $1,400. What are the 4 events? Your child's school is closed. Child's healthy, you're healthy, God bless. But you have to stay home because the child's school is closed and take care of the kid. That's number 1. Number 2, family member has COVID. Number 3, you have COVID. Number 4, you have to quarantine. The other surprise, wow, this was a big surprise, was in the documents from Nancy. She reveals that there could be more SNAP benefits. Last night, I just went snap out. I went snap to it because I was just really shocked how they're suddenly now, we've gone from 1 to, I think we're on our 6th snap update of this channel in no less than 3 days. It's just a lot of snap surprises. So those SNAP benefits just keep on rolling out. It's a lot to even record, and even in this recording. So if you want to know more about that SNAP rollout, I'll have more about it at 12 noon, but it's a lot. Anything for federal workers, employees as hazard pay, says Manuel Valdez. Great question. Yeah. So Joe Biden's proposal documents, the 30-page summary to his bill obtained by LLA, says that he's going to have 3 types of hazard pay: public sector, private sector, and tax credit hazard pay. So the public sector hazard pay basically says he's going to give the money to the states and locals, and those states will then use that money to pay you as an essential worker. So many details across the board. What a big morning it is at the 24-minute mark, and let me give you the big update as we wrap it up for the morning. What a big day. And yeah, that's a great question. Coastal. So Coastal dropped a question which is clearly dependent upon what we've heard from other things. And let me give you the big. Let me put that into the big update. My answer to Coastal or Crystal. Coastal. The big update as you start your Thursday morning, as we wrap this morning's broadcast earlier today, I'll be back at 12 noon with you on Home LLA, is that everything that you have heard from this channel, from Joe Biden's proposal, is going to finality. And so that anything you've heard from the outside edges, from the Republicans, discard and don't think about. Coastal asked me a question. Well, the Republicans were asking for a lower income threshold for the check. Hey, Daphne, thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk. Don't consider that. All that talk didn't get light of day. So you heard a lot of talk from the Republicans in the last few days. That's not seeing the light of day. So all you have to do is focus with me on what Joe has asked for and what Joe is getting. All that other talk is not happening. The recap is $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 for a married couple, $1,400 for children, $3,200 for adult dependents. If you're on any type of benefits, you either get $1,400 or $3,200. FPUC retro back to January this year forward to September, $400 a week. Hazard pay will be in there. EIDL grants will be in there. There'll be a lot of other great stuff in there as well. In the next few days, you're going to see this bill actually called for a vote. It's not a question of how or will or would. It's just a question of what day. With 26 minutes on the mark. Hey, Jody, thank you for the dancing pair. I really appreciate it. With 26 minutes on the clock, there's 1,600 people in the room. We did well. Get those likes up. 853 likes. Thank you, Stuart, for the nice super chat. Let's get those likes up closer to 1,000. Even when the video's over, you can still get it liked up. Meantime, what you're going to see across the remainder of today is more discussion about your stimulus. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe because you want to stay with this channel. Hey, Kimberly, because this is the most comprehensive there is. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, the most comprehensive and the most inclusive and interactive financial news there is. Currently, Wall Street is trading up. The Dow up about 245 points. About 1%, NASDAQ about 41 points at about 0.5%. The new jobless claims came in beating estimates at 779. That was below Wall Street's expectations of 830. And it was propelled with great numbers out of Illinois, but offset with bad numbers out of California. Meantime, Yum Brands beat on earnings and revenue calls this morning, and Kohl's reports that things will continue to keep on getting better. 937 likes. There we go. 1,600 people in the room. I'll be back at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time with Home LLA. So make sure you get your questions ready, and I'll be ready to answer your questions. There's September Miranda. What a beautiful name. Everyone welcome September Miranda to the family. As this new day comes upon you, stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, keep on liking, and stay of LA for more.